Hello and welcome back to another Advent of Code video. We're doing day 21, part 2. So this one I believe I did last night because I got bored, and so I've actually finished the code, and you may even notice I've made a start on day 22. But if we look at what we have for day 21, Hexview is probably going to crash. It's not. Cool. But yeah, if we get a mouse going there, if we run tests on 21, I think I did submit the answer, but yeah, if we get this, it should just pass because it is successful, I guess. So how I went about this, so if we maybe look at the log and which one, 4C3AD, get show 4C3AD. Yeah, so this is what we did. We added a couple more functions. Well, I did, I guess. And yeah, so what we had before was we had solve, which did part 1 fine. And what I've introduced is, and I think that solve kind of called out to this underscore solve, which I've now split into underscore solve 2 and underscore solve. The reason being is this kind of helper returns the actual results, which could be none. So we return result, and also just the strings for the equations because that gets used later. It's kind of a functional way of doing it, I guess. Whereas solve, we just want to return the actual results, but an optional. So if we don't have the value, we just want to return none, and then we want to unwrap the results in there, which is useful for part 1 because it should never be not, it should always be solvable. But there's some yelling out the door, weird. But in part 2, we actually remove the human. So basically the gist of it is we had a bunch of equations, and what has been worked out is this HUMN is actually us, human. And the root isn't actually saying this is an equation, it's saying this side equals that side. So what I could do is kind of do this. So I should have kept that in. I had comments basically showing how it went about it, but basically we have ppw, let's get my fingers in the right place, ppw equals sjmn, and so we know that is a fact basically, and what we know is one of these numbers is 150. So we actually know that sjmn equals 150. And we can work this out with that solve2 method. It will basically solve both parts of these, and it will say that sjmn is 150 and ppw is unknown. And the reason why it's unknown is because it depends on this. We know that that value is 4 because it's up there, but this value we don't know. Ironically, when I double click on that, it actually highlights something useful, not on purpose. But this is unknown because it depends on this value, which I believe SLLZ is known, but LGBT is not known. It is depending on this, which LJGN is known as 2, but PTDQ is not. And that resolves down into this one here, which has that human and DVPT, which is known to be 3. So what I kind of do is step through and kind of rearrange the formula as we go. So we know that ppw equals sjmm. So what we can do is we can kind of expand that, and here we kind of know some values. I mean, it doesn't really matter what the values are because we will solve them afterwards. But here we know that the CZ part is unknown. So here that's unknown. So we want to kind of drill into that CCZH, but we also want to kind of have it not tied up with this. So what we can do is kind of elementary math, I guess, is kind of rearrange the equation. So if it was divided, then we multiply it on the other side. In reality, you're like multiplying it on both sides of the equation, and that one will cancel out, and this one will just appear. And what we can do there is then drill into that CCHZ a bit more, so we can LGVD, and maybe we can wrap this up in a thing. And here we know that this one is known, so we kind of want to get rid of that. So we go that, and then we have FFMN times LFQF, and then we subtract SSLZ. And it's basically the opposite of this. And there's rules to do this. And then this LV1, LGVD, that is LJGN, JGN, times PTDQ, DQ, and that equals SSMN times LFQF minus SSLZ. And to have one of these which is unknown, which is that one, so we kind of want to divide both sides by this, and it will kind of get right. DQ equals, so this was going to be SFMN. Really what I should be doing is kind of copy pasting that, and then divide by LJGN, and at this point we now have hum equals not hum, hum minus BBPT equals all of this, and maybe with an extra bracket. And here we can kind of rearrange to just have, so we add that whole thing. Maybe we can, actually no, maybe because we got to the end, we can just kind of get that. And here we dBpt. And so what's going to happen here is we go through and rearrange it until we get to an equation where it's just human equals all of this stuff, and all of this stuff is known. So like that was 150. This is 4, I think. In SSLZ we have that is also 4, and LJGN is 2, and the dBpt is 3. And so here we can kind of wrap it down, so that's 600 minus 4, so that's, gosh, mind blank, 600 minus 4, 596, and that's to that, so 596 divided by 2, so that'll be 3, and like 4.5, so like that, and this will be 2, and they'll go up to there, and then add 3 will go 261, and like that math seemed wrong because I think that's not the answer. It should be 301, but I have confidence that if my math was better, that would work out. So how we do that is we remove human from the graph, so things will fail, and then we call this solve2. and the solve2 calls that kind of underscore solve2, which will get results for the A and B portions, and it will also kind of return the A and B strings, which we will reuse. And here we kind of work out which is like the one side and which is the other side, like this. And while we're not just human equals something, we do this rearrange method on the left hand side. So we're basically rearranging the left hand side. It's more like expanding than rearranging, but I don't know, I call it rearrange. And so what rearrange does, which potentially this one, I think, yeah, this one, it returns two strings, and it is going to basically return two new equations that kind of get listed up here. But we also add stuff to the dictionary. So we have the mutable dictionary, and we kind of, when we rearrange it, so say we had an unknown plus b equals that third thing, we can rearrange that to other minus b. So we just make that equation, and then we store that in the dictionary. So then when we later come to call solve, it will exist. So here we just do like matches on all the different types of equations and how it does, and I had comments that pads it out an extra like 2 lines per thing, but makes it kind of make sense, because sometimes it's not as, and like depending on where, if it's that side and that side or the other way around, is going to make a difference. And so that just passes the example. So I think what is it? Well, actually, we can just cache bust this, and it should show what I submitted last night. Couldn't sleep that well, but yeah, I had that big number there, and got 2 stars. So what I want to do now, yeah, actually I'll finish off this video and then probably start another one on day 22, just because I have started it and I have ideas on how to kind of pursue it. So thanks for watching.